Hey kids, Dane with Crypto the Wonder Dog. Hey, if you guys haven't heard about it yet, you're going to want to get onto the bandwagon, and then I mean the sports bandwagon that's happening in Los Angeles, August 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'm talking about the North American Sports Blockchain Conference. That's going to be at the JW Marriott, Los Angeles, LA Live. If you've never been down there, then it's incredible. What they've done to downtown and the surrounding area, and oh man, it's gonna be a big party. You're gonna want to be there. We have I'm so excited to say this. Nikita, she is a Crypto One influencer and evangelist, and she is going to be our host. Yeah, you heard it here first. Ian, he is also going to be the ambassador. Blockchain advisor and consultant. He's got quite a resume. You're going to want to check him out. Nikita, she's traveling the world, and you really got to sit down and listen to the interviews that we did with her. She is so cool. She's just a really awesome girl, and to have her be part of this conference, man, it's you don't even understand. This is incredible. We've got just a slew of speakers that are just popping in here. We haven't updated this in a couple of days, but there's gonna be more in here, and you're gonna want to check those out as they come on board. Download the sponsor deck here if you want to showcase your ICO. If you got anything to do in the sports and blockchain space, come on in, and you'll have a good time. So today I went over, and there's a guy that I've been trying to get a hold of for a little bit, and we finally arranged a time to meet, and that was today. And it was a special day because he's got some things coming up that you guys aren't going to want to miss. You may want to go ahead and subscribe to his channel there. Bo, he has just an eye to make money, and a memory like an elephant, because he can memorize these patterns that are happening. And he's an experienced analyst of time, and he's a specialist in the gold and silver and stock markets. He's successfully timed the 2011 $1,900 gold and $49 silver cycle tops, China's April 2015 stock market top, and the December 3rd, 2015 final gold bottom at $1,045. I don't know how he's doing it, man. He must have a crystal ball into the future. And this title, Crypto June Mania, and the floodgates open. He saved me from some heartache. He gave me a little advice, and I took it. And I tell you, I came out smelling like roses. And if you know anything from my past on trading, I always sold at the low, and then watched it climb up and got panicky and bought it at the top, and wasn't watching the trends. I was oh my God, what the hell I was doing. But this guy, Bo Polny, he is a master magician when it comes to making money, and he's somebody that you're going to want to check out. I don't advocate many times to listen to people before or after the show. I let you guys do your own homework on that. But gold2020forecast.com, he's got a subscription base that his viewers and listeners and subscribers, they're pretty happy with him. And the crypto puppy is pretty happy that they came across him too, and has given us some advice. I got onto his mailing list, and I'm getting great advice. But you check it out for yourself, and make sure you decide on your own. Don't take my word for it, but take my word for it. You're gonna want to listen to what he has to say. We put up some chart. This is a new era for us, because me being a so-called director and cinematographer. But it's really hard to shoot yourself while you're in front of the camera. So I've been practicing a few different things, and with these DSLRs that I shoot with, I can shoot movies with them fine. I can shoot documentaries with them fine. But when you're shooting a long interview, you got about a 20-minute window to get what you got to say in before your camera shuts off. So jumping up and down and man, it's so frustrating because you got to stop and start. But I'm a really good editor too, so I dare you to find the cuts. I dare you to find where all this stuff where it happened. If you can, I'm going to give you 100,000 Crypto the Wonder Dog tokens. You heard me right. 100,000. You tell me where those breaks were, and those 100,000 are yours. You comment, like, and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. In the comments below here. If you're on YouTube, if you're on iTunes, I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have to go back over to YouTube and do it. People on YouTube, they've got an advantage because they get to see what's happening, and I put in some graphics. Oh man, you'll be able to follow along with a couple of charts. But I'm telling you, if you get on this guy's subscription list, gold2020forecast.com, you're going to be in the know. You're going to have those predictions and signals and charts sent right to you, right to your email, like I do. Yeah, it's been a good day, and I'm going to try to get this out before well, I'm not going to get it out before midnight, but I'll get it out before you guys wake up at the crack of dawn, unless you're on the other side of the world and then you're already up. So anyway, this is me with Bo in his backyard, chatting, having fun, and you tell me what you think. All right, you guys ready to start the show? All right, let's start the show. People tend to talk away from the microphone.
Is that okay right there?
Maybe they're afraid of people who've been speaking into it. They don't get their ears and stuff. All right. So, Bo, man, we've been trying to get you on, and I kind of lost touch with you, but Rob got you back on board with us.
Yeah. It was really an experience meeting you.
Yeah, we were at the Crypto Invest Summit, standing in line, waiting for a 7 o'clock or a 6 o'clock party at 7 o'clock that they still hadn't opened the doors for, right?
Exactly.
That was great. Great planning on their part, and it's awesome when you go to a party. You go in and they hand you a ticket for a drink that's not good for the drink that you want. I love that, man. I love getting a beer ticket when I'm ready for an old fashioned.
Oh, there you go.
You know?
Well, they had a lot of choices of wine, so that was
good.
I'm a wine drinker myself. So
I am too. I went wine tasting on Sunday.
Okay.
In Temecula.
Oh wow, I've been there a few times with my wife.
Yeah?
That's great. Yeah.
Do you know if you heard of Ooh La La?
No.
Okay, they're this ICO in Ontario, and on Wednesday after the summit, across the street of that taco place,
okay,
they were throwing a party up on the top of that place.
Oh, okay.
And so we're out there at the wineries, and I go to the bar and I look up and there's Oscar from Ooh La La standing there. So we end up having like a 2-hour conversation there at the winery. Oh. And drinking wine and talking crypto was awesome. He's getting emotional about it, and I'm and he's getting louder, and the people are looking around.
Well, it's like when we met that night too. It was just crazy. There's so many people at that on the 5th floor of that.
Did you go to the other floor?
Yeah, we were at the very top.
Did you go to the other floor though? There was a band playing.
Yeah, so we were there too.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, but then at the very top where they had like the main event, where it was packed. There wasn't any standing room hardly. It was crazy.
That was good. Because I wanted to make my way around, but you end up talking with somebody, and then you're like, crap. Okay, I'm going to be here for 10 minutes. Okay, well, 20 minutes. Okay, I've missed like 2 more people I should have met. All right, there's 30 minutes. Damn, there's like 4 people I could have met. Yeah. And before you end up, you've drank too much, and then you're like, man, what did that guy say again?
It's like all conferences. The probably the first 30 to 40 minutes, maybe hour, is like the best part of the conference. After that,
yeah, I think the best part was when we were standing in line to get in.
Yeah,
and then
we met.
So, we had some good conversation there. So you had some great ideas on what was going to happen, and I followed your advice, and actually I got out and I saved myself some heartache.
Good. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's been.
Thank you for that. I appreciate that. So I was able to get out before this kerfuffle here. Mm-hmm. But you say there's hope.
Oh, there's lots of hope.
Okay.
Yeah, more than hope. There's
going
to be a massive, there's going to be an incredible shift that's going to hit our world. It's going to be true. No one's going to believe. I can't describe what's going to happen because no one can believe it.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, it's kind of like a dam that's just been plugged up for hundreds of years with water, and finally they open the gates.
Okay.
You know, and what's going to happen is if you think of when you open the floodgates, what the floodgates are in essence, it's like trillions of dollars that have been printed,
mm-hmm.
and they have to go somewhere.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing is this month, the stock market gets whacked. So when the stock market gets hit, people are going to want to put their money somewhere safe.
Yeah.
And as crazy as it sounds, cryptocurrencies are safe. You know, because there's a finite number of them.
Yeah.
And as illusionary as a cryptocurrency is, and in your head, it's just digits out there,
mm-hmm.
but there's still a finite amount of them per coin, right? And on the other end of it, when you look at the fiat money system that we have become accustomed to for thousands, for the past 100 years or so, this fiat money system really has no max. They can print as much as they want.
Yeah, even
right?
though they say they don't, right?
And they do, and they have, and they've done so. Look at the national debt. Look at isn't it? I'm not sure the exact number, but hasn't there like $8 trillion or $10 trillion have been printed in the past 7-8 years? Like if you start counting 1, 2, 3, you couldn't count fast enough to how much it would take you. Just an impossibility of how big $1 trillion is.
Well, I remember seeing a guy did an example of pennies on the floor.
Yeah.
So each penny represented $1 million.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to see how many freaking pennies were there when they were $1 million.
Yeah,
penny, or maybe it was 100,000. I don't know, but it covered like a mass. Like it was like this table, and it was this thick.
Well, because isn't a trillion 12 zeros? I think it is. I think
something like that.
Yeah. So it's
because a billion is 9 zeros, right?
Yeah. So the numbers are astronomical of how high. For, whether we're 100% right on the amount of zeros, it doesn't matter. The numbers are just huge. And so what happens is, I personally think they don't. The people that have been printing all this money, the global elite. If you think about it, if this money really does become evident as much money they've printed, what would happen is milk would become $15, $20 a gallon.
Yeah.
Bread would be $20 a gallon, a loaf. So they have to do something to hide the amount of money that they've printed.
Yeah.
And so it could go into gold and silver, which it will. So you're going to see gold and silver do a moonshot, okay? But they're still going to have. The thing is, there's so many trillions that when they move into the cryptos, the numbers are going to be staggering that these cryptocurrencies are going to make. It's going to be really, really exciting. And the whole essence is I believe they're going to try to hide as best they can the amount of money that they printed in terms of paper or electronically.
So back up a little bit and let's talk about you and your magic potion here. How'd you find these magic numbers and how do you know what's going to happen?
I would say the best not even example, the best words I can use are from the Bible. And it basically says in there crystal clear, that which has been will be again. There is nothing new under the sun. Okay? Wow. So if you take those words and you apply them, and everything started from creation of the word, right? So if you take if you take those words and you simply say, okay, if that which has been will be again, so let's apply that to a chart, for example.
Okay.
And if you look at a chart and you see a wave goes up and down, and then another wave goes up and down.
Yeah.
Okay. And so those are waves. So and just the simplest form of that is a sine wave. So that just simply goes up and down in a harmonious manner. And it's really, it's certain length and height, whatever it is, but they're similar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But a stock chart or a cryptocurrency chart, you're not going to have a sine wave, but you're still going to have waves.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're still going to have waves. The only difference is that if you look back on a chart, whether it's Bitcoin, Litecoin, or whether it's gold, silver, or whether it's any stock market chart,
Yeah.
okay, the thing is you cannot look back 6 months or 3 months and think that it's going to repeat from the past 3 months.
No.
It doesn't, but that's what everybody does, right? So people might look back 3 months and say, hey, well, 3 months ago it did this, so it'll probably repeat that pattern again. But my answer to you is it will not, because I've done this long enough. So patterns don't specifically repeat themselves from 6 months ago, from 3 months ago. That's just too short of a window of time.
Well, how did you find that out?
Well, because I just been staring at charts forever,
Okay.
and for some weird reason I have this weird ability to look at charts and memorize them, and then when I see a chart pattern, I just know where to go look,
Wow.
and I know what year, what to look for, because I've been staring them long enough. So I just have this kind of database of different charts in my head,
Yeah.
and so the moment I see a pattern that starts to look something like I've seen before, I know exactly where to go look, and then when I find them, like, oh, and then I line them up in time. So what I look for is similarities in patterns, and when you go back far enough, what you start finding is that they actually repeat, and they repeat very, very similarly.
Really?
But they're never identical, and that's the trick, right? So so people sometimes use a very frequent form of a chart analysis is Elliott wave. So I get a lot of emails from people, hey, do you use Elliott wave analysis? And my answer is always no. But I use Elliott wave analysis to count my waves.
Really?
But the problem with Elliott wave, and I have some of the people that are the smartest people around that know Elliott wave better than I've never studied it. I just kind of reviewed it. But I have some technicians that are incredibly good at Elliott wave analysis. And even some of the best people, every one of them will say, the problem is, you don't, because typically it's a count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, A,
Yeah.
B, C, right? The biggest question is where do you put number 1?
Yeah.
And if you put number 1 in the wrong place, whether it's say at 3 or 5, then your whole sequence is off. And you might think you get it right, but then at the very last minute, 5 already happened, and instead because you're off at 3. So it's really important but Elliott wave is a great form of chart analysis, but it's all based on time again, right? So looking at cycles historically, when you know where the world is in reference to history, you look at those similar chart patterns,
Okay.
overlaying them on present time. And so as a perfect example of how this worked, so on April 1st, oh no, it wasn't April 1st, it was about a few days before April 1st, right around Easter, Passover
Okay.
of this year, 2018, I posted, I think on the 31st of March, I posted just as a courtesy to the world and people who all follow me on my YouTube channel, but also on my webpage, Gold 2020 Forecast. At the very top there, I created a link, and I showed exactly what just is about to happen within the next 24 to 48 hours, or right where it happened. I said that Litecoin and Bitcoin on April 1 bottomed and will never go lower. And the reason I knew that was because I wasn't using Elliott wave, I was using pattern analysis. And what happens is there are patterns in history. I don't know how this happens, but I've kind of created or called it was called a life run
Mm-hmm.
and a death run.
A death run.
Okay? So think about this. Okay, so a life run, when this pattern happens, it brings life to that chart. Okay? A death run is the opposite side of the spectrum. So when this pattern happens, it brings death to that chart. Okay.
Okay.
So on April 1, and as silly as this might sound to everybody, I'm still right to this very day. On April 1, I uploaded a video. I even sent it to a couple of YouTubers. They actually did the YouTubes as well, and all of them said, you know, from what I was showing on the charts, that a Bitcoin, I forget the price, I think it was 6,400. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Maybe
Yeah, it was like 6,400.
So it was something like that. So on that day, what it was a pattern of 2 up, 6 down minimum, couldn't go 7 to 8. So that's why I knew within a 48-hour window, Bitcoin, because it had the 2 up, I had the prior cycle I was looking at, and I knew that after the 6-day down, which was the 31st, the 30, which was April 1, was the final bottom. So that was it was called a life run bottom, and from that point on, Bitcoin jumped up. And I created a video too, a little before that, saying the May surprise. I think I said that to you. You watched it as well. And so, what did that video said basically? And as you saw my charts that I sent you following that my subscribers got, said that Bitcoin and Litecoin and the cryptocurrencies were going to do a move up into the middle of March, and starting on the 14th, they're supposed to drop.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you told me.
Yeah. And so you got around the 13th or whatever, you right at the very top, and you got out there. So, and I was extremely disappointed with Bitcoin's move, with Litecoin's move, and basically every single coin that was on Coinbase. And what I've come to realize was that the people that the monetary system is they got their grips on the cryptos.
Yeah.
Ever since they created in December they started controlling Bitcoin with the derivatives. And so that's when Bitcoin topped out and then dropped. And so I was showing you a chart earlier. If I can show you it right here, but it's quite interesting because here's Bitcoin.
Okay. Yeah.
So let's label this number 1 so you can actually post it on there. Number 1.
Cool. Number 1.
So at the bottom of the chart, you'll see Bitcoin. So it went up, and then it came down a little bit, came a little higher, and then right on the 13th was the top, and then the 14th started to drop.
So we're at May.
So this is
May.
on May, May 3rd, and then May 9th was the high, came up a little bit into the 13th, and then dropped and started on the 14th.
Okay.
And you'll see that it dropped, and it's been on, and right now today it was at 7,619.
Yeah.
The point is, the manipulation, and you can look at that that's Bitcoin, and I'll just label this chart number 2 here. You can see the same thing on Ethereum.
Exactly the same thing.
On Bitcoin Cash.
Yep.
Okay. Actually, I didn't print Litecoin, but Litecoin basically it sucked too. It only went up to like 120, 125 maybe, or 127, 129, maybe 130, and then it came back down. So they had their grips on specifically the coins that were on Coinbase, and if you do a little homework on Coinbase, it's I think 50% or more of it's owned by the digital marketing or digital currency group, which is basically they own NASDAQ.
Wow.
So they had their grips on the cryptos because they didn't want to let them take off just yet. However, and this is quite interesting. However, when you look, let's go back to chart number 1 here, as an example, and there's multiple charts, multiple coins you can look at, but as an example, Bitcoin, okay, which is the top chart right here.
Okay.
Look what it did into the 14th. It jumped up. It had, and the move itself was approximately, on relative to the price of Bitcoin, Bitcoin did a move of 484%.
484.
484%.
Wow.
Relative to the price of Bitcoin. So it outperformed Bitcoin by almost 500%. And that is just one example of many coins that did that, and these coins were not on Coinbase. Okay, yeah. And so this was the May surprise that I was expecting, and we arrived on many coins that I was holding. So I got out of my coins on the alternate coins. However, the 4 main ones never jumped to the extent that we wanted to. Mm-hmm. But on the other end of it, doesn't change the fact that cycles don't break. So the manipulation that was created doesn't change anything. And if anything, this is quite interesting. So I've got a couple of charts I wanted to show you, which I think your viewers will really appreciate. Okay, so let's go to Bitcoin.
Okay.
And again, other examples of, just want to let you know, you can look, everyone, the whole world was excited about EOS.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
EOS chart, you know what it looks like?
No.
Just like Bitcoin.
Just looks like Bitcoin.
Okay. So EOS confirmed the breakout. It confirmed the low in April, and then beyond the low in April, EOS confirmed in May was the jump that EOS made.
Wow.
Okay, so EOS was the May surprise as an example. In other words, it wasn't EOS. It was just there's many coins you can look at that had a May high.
Yeah.
That was very impressive. EOS, I can look at it here. EOS had a 339, so it's almost 340% price gain from its low in April relative to Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
EOS, but as an example, Bitcoin blew away EOS by another 200%. So Bitcoin, if you look at its chart, and then you look at EOS.
So we're chart number 1 still. It's
Yeah.
Bitcoin. So
Yeah.
BCN is Bitcoin, right?
Right, BCN is Bitcoin.
Okay.
And if I did the same chart, you'd see the same thing. You would see it on EOS, and you'd see a May high. And the May high for EOS was a 339% price jump.
Wow.
Relative to Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin, it went up, but then EOS outperformed Bitcoin by 339%. Now there's other tokens like Tron, Digibyte.
What was Tron doing?
Tron did I did all this for my subscribers, so I have all the numbers right here. But TRX did 220% price move.
Wow.
Outperforming Bitcoin by 220%. Those who have like Digibyte, Digibyte did a 132% move relative to Bitcoin. So it outperformed Bitcoin by 132%. So this was the May jump that we were looking for, but it wasn't apparent on most coins that were controlled by Coinbase. Okay, so therefore, by suppressing the price on Coinbase, no one really thinks that that a bull market has begun. However, we are completing phase 1 of 3 phases now. So within the next 24 to 48 hours, phase 1 is over.
And we're on what day?
Today is the 5th of June.
Today is 5th of June. It's okay. So we're say that again one more time.
Yeah, so Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies have 3 phases this year. Okay. So I described this. This is all covered in detail with dates that my subscribers get, which you obviously get, Dean, too.
Yeah.
And so the first phase is the denial phase. Well, guess what everybody's been doing? There's no bull market. It's not going up. Bitcoin's going to zero. But Bitcoin's never going to zero because I'll buy them all before they get to zero. It doesn't take much at 1 penny to buy all the Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, but the denial phase basically describes the fact that no one believes that we're in a bull market. But the bull market began on April 1.
April 1.
Okay. So, and with the denial phase, basically, with all the manipulation that's been going on in the world, they've held down Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum. So you can't really see it.
Okay.
However, if you look at the coins that we had mentioned, you can even look at red coin. I've got a list of probably like 25 coins there that basically outperformed Bitcoin by a factor of 200% plus.
Amazing.
So very a lot of very strong coins that outperform, and that all those coins confirmed phase 1. But off of phase 1, you get a high.
Yeah.
14th of May, and then back down into my low point would be right here, and possibly my last day that I think could stretch to will be tomorrow, June 6th.
Okay, so 5th and 6th. All
so
right.
5th and 6th would be the patterned low, and off of that we have a move beginning to the upside.
Okay.
And now the next move is actually let me describe here. The first phase was let me pause here for a second. Denial phase. Cut this out.
We can cut this. We'll cut this out.
Let's cut this out. Okay. So once the first phase ends, which is now, in the next 24 to 48 hours, phase 2 begins. Phase 2 is the wall of worry.
The wall of worry.
Okay.
Okay.
So if you study a bull market, they have 3 phases. So the second phase,
It's like the Wailing Wall, right?
The Wailing Wall.
The Wailing Wall.
Well, everything's happening is biblical. So let me tell you this.
Yeah. All right.
This is good. A lot of events are going to be transpiring here the next few months.
Okay.
It's going to be crazy.
Okay.
But the wall of worry is when the price starts to escalate very dramatically, and so as the price starts to rise very quickly, what's your first? It's been stuck down here for so long. What's your first reaction? I want to sell.
Yeah.
I want to sell, but maybe I shouldn't sell. Or do I sell?
Yeah.
Or should
that's
I sell?
how I feel every day. Every freaking day, man.
Wait till the price starts to like multiply by like. Wait till the price starts going up like a gas meter at the gas station. That's what's going to start happening.
Is it? Okay.
Grab this here. And so when the price starts to move like that, you're like, wait, do I sell or don't I sell or do I sell? And this is where cycles are beautiful.
Yeah.
Because when you have a cycle pattern, the cycles using time analysis, it gives you the left to right factor. So the time analysis tells you when.
Okay.
That's all that matters. All you need to know is the pattern is up.
Mm-hmm.
And just like you knew that the high was in May.
Yeah.
There's another high coming in July.
In July.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I won't give the obviously you'll have the date, but I'm not going to give the date. It's my subscribers.
Yeah, not to you.
Yeah.
No, not to you.
I can't give everything away.
Yeah,
but
we guys got to subscribe to this guy, okay? So you can get the day.
But regardless of that, I think the information that I provide, even sitting here right now, telling you that we're at a low here and don't be nervous about buying. I think that in and of itself is great information. It's just
absolutely.
You knew when we met. I described what would happen. It pretty much exactly happened, panned out, just like I laid out in about a month and a half ago. So at this point, and again, if you're just looking to buy cryptos, just buy them. Like there's no if you're not looking to trade them, you don't need a subscription because you're just holding them, right? The problem is that you get all emotional, and when it starts to take off like this, you're like, well, do I sell? Because there will be some big drops coming. That's the problem, right? And so if you have a large position, right, and you put a lot of money down on the cryptos and they take off, and you watch your position just simply multiply, right?
Yeah.
It's not fun to watch your position make some huge numbers and then have a huge sudden sharp drop, and that's what's going to come in July, right? So it's kind of like, it's not fun, but on the other end of it, they're still not going to be down at these levels anyways, right? But if you are a trader, which I enjoy doing, I do like getting out the top and rebuying a bigger position on the pullback.
Yeah,
so that's kind of been my strategy for a long time.
Yeah.
But so the second phase back to that is the wall of worry, because it's going up so quickly, and basically this is I believe where the floodgates get opened. So I think the price is going to be dramatically escalating very, very sharply, and I believe it will be Actually, I don't know what the triggering factor will be.
Yeah.
I do know that there will be some massive, or there's going to have to be some kind of a big event to trigger all this.
Yeah.
So some kind of news is going to be exposed.
In the crypto world?
No, like in our world.
Oh, in our world. Oh,
yeah, and that's
so it has nothing to do with crypto. It's just going to be news.
Because news, because basically the cycle is saying you're going to have a very powerful move.
Okay.
I've been waiting for it. I was even for gold. I was hoping we would get it in May, and they held the price of gold and silver down in May again. But they're running short on time because, from a biblical perspective, we have a 360-day window that started in September.
Okay.
And so between now and this September, craziness is supposed to happen. And all I know is that with the time window between June now into September is getting very small.
Yeah.
So something big has to happen here very, very soon to trigger everything, the massive, massive shifts. So some kind of big move in terms of news is going to hit our world very soon.
Wow.
This month.
And is it? Do you think it's going to be financial news? Is it going to be like? Is it a country going down in flames like?
I think it's bigger
Italy and.
Well, it could be, but I think it's bigger than a country. I think it's going to be something. Remember, because the cryptocurrencies they basically wrap the world, right? So the currencies go around the whole world, and they have the cryptocurrencies take off and not look back. It'd have to be something more than just maybe in one country.
Okay.
So I don't know, but it's going to have to be some kind of big news event, and then that right around that time, I see a stock market plunge. So the markets are going to drop.
Now, is this something that you've seen in a chart?
Yes. Yes.
So you're talking about data that you've already seen happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's happened before is going to happen again.
Right.
Okay.
I have the chart that in January, my subscribers all got the chart in January. Before the stock market crash, we actually had the top and the April and the February bottom.
Yeah.
To like the day.
Yeah.
So those that played it, I know a few myself and a few people did some interesting trades on the VIX, and pretty crazy.
Yeah.
My point is that the chart is now foretelling, that same chart that foretold the January, February stock market plunge crash is now foretelling a June plunge is coming.
A June plunge.
In the stock markets. So a stock market June plunge is going to be somehow tied into loss of faith and confidence in paper.
Okay.
And
that's been slowly happening, do you think? I mean, you see some guys jumping out of Wall Street, jumping out of these big financial firms, coming over to the dark side.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that what's happening? Are we seeing an exodus from the financial fiat world?
I don't watch the markets that much, but every so often I talk to a few people that I don't know anybody who's really in the stock market that I talk to.
No,
okay. Everybody that I pretty much talk to is out of the stock market, and if anything, they keep trying to short it.
Yeah,
and trying to so I don't know really honestly how many people want to be invested in the stock market, especially watching what happened to the cryptos last year. I was talking in an interview at the conference and just simply, if you look, how could you want to be involved in the stock market when you watched Bitcoin last year? In January, it was $400, and by December, it's $20,000. Okay, that's a 50, or is it a 40x or 50x move? 50 or 40 times move.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, think about that.
Yeah.
Why would you want to be involved in the stock market?
You get 6% over the next year or whatever. Yeah. And we're going to go 40x.
Which is, and if you're doing percent, isn't that 4,000%? Or is that, I don't even know, the math is so funny.
You move the comma. Yeah, there you go, man.
Yeah. So it's just so imagine the same thing happened this year. But I don't think that's going to happen to Bitcoin. So therefore, I don't have any Bitcoin this year, even though I think Bitcoin's a wonderful coin to have.
Yeah, it's very strong.
Very strong. Yeah. It's just that I would rather...
You see more movement.
Right, since
I
have
more movement, and you're going to make more of a percentage.
Right, since I have patterns and charts, I would prefer to put I enjoy the movement. Yeah. So I would rather have my coin.
If you weren't a kind of guy that could see these movements,
stick in Bitcoin.
Stick in Bitcoin and just let it ride.
Yeah,
it's gonna grow.
Exactly. Yeah. But there's other coins that will, like Litecoin, for example. If it does what Bitcoin did last year, right? So it did a 50x move. So wouldn't that put Litecoin at $5,000 by the end of the year? If it is a similar thing, right? Wow. So, but think about it. I'm not making numbers up. This actually happened to Bitcoin last year, and so if this similar thing happens to Litecoin this year, well, that could take Litecoin to $5,000, right? Yeah. Can Litecoin go to 3,000 or 2,000? Even if it goes to 2,000, it's $120 today. Okay, so even if it went to $1,000, okay?
Yeah, you put $1,000 in it today.
You didn't lose any money if you bought it today at 120, it goes to even 1,000. So let's say it doesn't hit 5,000, only hits 1,000.
You still made a good chunk of money. Yeah.
Or maybe you should have bought the stock market instead. Make your 6%.
Yes. Yes.
But that's my point, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're long chat. So phase 2 is the wall of worry. But let's backtrack. I said the death run. Remember that?
Yeah.
So in January, the stock market did 2 down, 6 up. Death run. The stock market is finished for years to come. For the next few years, the stock market is finished.
Really?
Finished. And the cryptocurrencies are in a life run. Gold and silver in 2005, when I called the exact bottom on gold, it nailed the bottom in December, and it did a life run. So gold, silver, and the cryptocurrencies all are in life run patterns, which means they have years of upwards price movement. That's why they've been unable to take down the price, of even Bitcoin. Right? They dropped it from 20,000 to 6,000, but if you bought it at 1,000 or 400 or $500 or $2,000 last year, who cares? It doesn't matter. They can't take it lower. And it's funny because I did talk to some people, or one lady particularly, at the LA conference. Yeah, she was adamant that Goldman Sachs, because she knows people that work there, she's a very wealthy lady. Yeah, and she was on stage adamant that she knows that they will take Bitcoin down to 5. She's referenced the word 5,000, but then I spoke with her later, and she says they do 3 to 4,000 on Bitcoin.
Huh.
So that is their intent, if they can.
Goldman Sachs.
Yes.
Huh.
But
why?
Well, because they want
to get in,
flush it and get in, and take it back up
okay.
again. But the cycle's against them. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here over the next few months.
Yeah.
All I know is that stuff I'm looking at is fantastic, so
yeah.
I'm not worried about it. But it's interesting to listen to their perspective because they think that they can control everything forever.
Yeah.
But here's a problem: forever is a very, very long time.
It kind of is.
And unfortunately, there's no such thing as forever.
Yeah. So
at some point, forever comes to an end.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting to see how so the point being is. So we talked about the stock market. So then beyond this, phase 2 will be phase 3. That comes later in the year, and that's going to be the euphoria, and that is going to be something to enjoy.
Yeah.
But there will be some price crashes when that happens.
Okay.
But we might see Bitcoin drop 20,000 in a day.
In a day.
Yeah, it might be 15,000. It could be something in those ranges.
Okay, so where is it when it drops out?
Well, that's the thing. It might be at $60,000. You see what I'm saying? So or it could be at 80,000. So I don't know. And here's the problem. People ask me like, "Hey, where do you see Bitcoin at the end of the year?" Right?
Yeah.
And that's such a hard problem because when I do my work, as you've seen, what do I send you all the time? You get from me time analysis.
Yeah.
I don't send prices. I'll discuss where Bitcoin's trading
there's
at currently.
No numbers on there. It's just
right. It shows patterns and it shows you what direction it's going and gives you dates of when the highs and the lows are supposed to be.
Yeah.
And that's all that really matters, anyways. Because why do you care? Because if you know the lows coming in, you buy it.
Yeah.
You're not waiting for a certain price. You buy, and now you're going to hold for a certain amount of weeks or time into the future before you get out again.
Yeah.
So the prices, my historical cycles that I'm looking at show very sizable or very sharp, sudden drop in price coming in the future for Bitcoin. But these are off of very high numbers.
Yeah. Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how high the numbers get by the end of the year. But this year, here's probably an important comment. If you miss the bull run this year, the same's not going to happen again next year.
It's not.
No. So so we'll have it'll be a good year next year, but you're not going to see floodgates open. So the bull run that hits this year is going to be something. It's supposed to be, from what I'm looking at the patterns, something breathtaking.
Okay. Now, when you're looking at the patterns, so these past patterns that you saw, was it the reason that it didn't happen the following year is because so many people got in right then whenever it happened the first time, and then not that many people were didn't know anything about it to jump in at the second time?
No, the best analogy that I can give you is actually what we just experienced.
Okay.
What happened last year? Bitcoin took off.
But did Bitcoin take off because no one knew about it, and then all of a sudden everyone knew about it?
It didn't matter why it took off. Well, actually, what happened was a euphoria phase into the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so what follows a euphoria phase is MANIA. That's when I was on stage in Vancouver, and people didn't believe me, but I said Bitcoin will hit a very important top the first week of January.
Okay.
Okay, even though it topped in December, it did come a bit down, and it went right back up. And it went to like 18,000 in the first week of January.
Damn.
And then that was it. And I said on stage it would fall for many months. I didn't want to give how many months, but I knew it was going to fall to at least March into April. And so that did exactly that. So to answer your question, off of this bull run, your euphoria phase until the end of the year, right? And it's going to progress. It might go into next year. I don't want to give the time frame of when the top will come in. Of this bull run, but the point is, when this top comes in, what are you going to experience again? The same thing we just experienced now. Okay, so you're going to see a sharp drop, and then it's just a sideways pattern again. So it's just going to. So if you miss it, you're going to have to wait a long time again for the next bull run.
Wow. Okay. The patterns are we just talked about the patterns just keep repeating themselves, and the last time that this happened. It didn't happen the following year.
Right. So
when do you see it happening?
Well, we're going to have... So that's why you want to be involved in cryptocurrencies and gold and silver this year.
Okay.
Because this is the year where we see extreme price movements.
Okay.
Straight up. Now, after this when this top comes in later this year, it'll still move, and some of the alternate coins then will start maybe having better year next year. But Bitcoin and a lot of the other coins, I think, are going to get stalled out again. And just as we've seen happen right now.
Is Bitcoin going to get taken over by any other coin? Do you think?
That's a hard thing to answer. I even if it does,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just wondering. We see, like Ripple was down here and it just kept going up.
Right. Well, but Bitcoin's got a long future still because it did a life run, so it's going to have years forward still.
Oh yeah.
So it's going to have quite a bit of longevity yet to go up. I think Bitcoin is probably going to be later on equivalent to or equated to like gold, to store of value. And I think like Litecoin is going to be more like silver, where it just catches fire and it just takes off like a rocket.
Yeah.
But they both move similarly together.
And I don't know this, and I don't even know if even people even know this, but we know that there's only going to be a certain amount of Bitcoin, right?
Right.
Is it 20 million or?
Yeah, I forget the exact number, but there's still I think a few million need to be mined yet.
So how long until the last one's mined?
I heard it was like 2 or 3 more years yet.
Oh, okay. So we still have 2 or 3 more years.
Yes, but the calculations get harder and harder. So
because more people are getting on.
Well, no, because the formulas get harder too. The calculation, again, from what I've read about it, the calculations get harder. Okay. So it takes more computing power.
Okay.
To get the Bitcoin.
So it used to be you could use your TI calculator to do it, and now you're now you're having to use a NASA computer to. Okay. All right. Wow.
So that's the issue. The issue is, where are we in the life pattern for Bitcoin? And honestly, we're, as crazy as this sounds, Bitcoin just completed its first phase.
Yeah.
But they've held it down, and it's going to be really exciting to see price catch up. And that's the best way to describe it. The price is going to have to do a catch up.
Yeah.
So we're going to see a very strong move vertical because it's going into the second phase beginning in June. And if something happens here in the markets, which I know the markets are going to get hit this month, from what I'm looking at, if that ends up panning out, and I end up being correct, it could be very exciting for what gets, what triggers here in the cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
So.
Okay, so you said you've been buying the last couple of days, right?
Yeah, I actually not the last couple of days. Today.
Today.
Yeah,
okay, today.
I went in today. I put some positions on, but I still think there's a chance we could see one more pullback tomorrow into the 6th.
Okay.
So regardless, it's like you're talking for when the move goes vertical. It's not like if you bought, as example, Litecoin. If you bought Litecoin at 120, or if you bought Litecoin if it dips down to 110, say, it's not like that's going to change your world dramatically when it goes up to 2,000 or 3,000.
Yeah.
The $10 is not going to make much of a difference.
Okay. So how long? Okay. So can you tell me how long it's going to be, or no? How long the up is going to go?
Well, we the Bitcoin and the cryptocurrencies have years forward.
But you were talking about it was going up into the middle of July, right?
Yeah,
somewhere in July.
I didn't say. All I said was July. So
July, somewhere in July.
Yeah, somewhere in July. We're gonna have a high come in July. I will. Later on, I will post that to my subscribers. Will all have the time point.
Okay,
and I'll make sure that you personally get that as well too.
Share it.
I'll take care of you, Dean. Don't worry about it.
I'm not gonna share it. You guys want it? You got to get a hold of it, man.
Yeah, but that's only if you're interested. That's if you're trading.
Yeah.
So.
Well, cool. What else are we looking at here? Are we going to show anything on the screen? Do we want to play around with this chart? Can you?
The only thing I can tell you is actually some here. You want to talk chart patterns here? So I'll give you some interesting chart patterns. So remember we talked a few minutes ago about Bytecoin.
Yeah. So we're back on chart number 1.
Okay, chart number. Now let's label chart number 1. We're going to go over to chart number 3 because chart number 3.
Okay.
Has Bytecoin on it, but it has a bigger version of it.
BC, and you call this a cup?
There you go. Yeah, it's a cup.
Cup, because it's got a handle.
Yeah. Are you a coffee drinker? There you go.
Yeah.
Cup.
Yeah.
All we need is a little bit of a little steam coming off there.
Yes.
So we're all gonna be enjoying this pretty here soon.
Right.
So if we compare 3, I'm gonna put a 3A on his chart 3A. And this is 3B.
Okay. Cup with it.
And so what we just experiencing right now is the handle.
Okay, so we're 3B, and this
Okay.
cup with a handle base.
Cup with a handle base, and 0.4 is completing right now on
Okay.
the lows. Okay, it's in early June here. So once off the June low, price gets reversed, and then we take off. Well, not we, but
Okay.
but the charts that have formed a cup and handle, and Bitcoin is one of them. Bitcoin will make a move vertical and proceed higher, much
Okay.
higher. Okay, and so all that happened between
And this is, you said this is Bitcoin right here?
this is Bitcoin that you're looking at. Yes.
Okay, so,
yeah.
okay.
And again, this is just one chart of many that made a. Bitcoin is one chart of many that made a May high. Okay.
Really?
So the charts that made May cycle highs, nearly all of them formed a cup.
Right there.
Okay.
Yep.
Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So all the charts that I was looking for to make highs, all the coins that made highs, because I was looking for a high in May,
Mm-hmm.
all they did was make the right side of the handle.
Okay.
I'm sorry, they made the right side of the cup.
Okay.
And then April, off April, so now we have off the May, middle of May high, May into June, early June is the handle.
Hmm.
Okay. And once the handle is complete, you get a sharp price reversal, and then you're off to the races.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, the other coins that are on Coinbase, let's look at those ones. So we're going to look at Bitcoin. We're going to look at Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Okay, they all have virtually the same exact chart. You'll see that we can go label this 1. We're going to label this 2B and then 2A. So you can. So 2B, what you'll see is since Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum did not make a spike high to form the right side of the cup, what they did was they capped off, they dropped down into June, and now you have a triple bottom.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
And which one are these? Which coins
So
are these?
this would be Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin. So this would be BTC, Litecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So all of them form triple bottoms with bottom in February,
So that's February?
April, and June.
Okay. So that's February, March, April, May, June.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So now you got triple bottoms complete, and then this next run is going to go vertical. The point is, all that happens is Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, they're just going to start off from a lower price.
Okay. Beautiful.
But then they all go vertical in the month of June into a cycle high in July.
Wow.
And then we get a sizable drop in July. July will be pretty scary for people who got in late. So the people who buy late
Yeah.
are going to experience some pain because the
Yeah.
drop's going to be pretty sharp in July.
Is it?
But then
Okay.
but then it's going to go up again.
Okay.
As time goes on. So
don't worry.
But this pattern is complete now, and so a new pattern starts to form itself because each phase is a different cycle pattern.
Okay.
And so by having the cycle patterns, we can foretell the time points through this year 2018.
Wow. All right. Fascinating, man.
So hopefully that was educational for you. But
Yeah.
absolutely. But the key, the takeaway from today's conversation
Yeah.
is the pattern I just laid to February, March, April, May, June. You said it yourself right there. That triple bottom.
Yeah.
So on those 4 coins on Coinbase, it's a triple bottom. All the other tokens and coins, or many of the other tokens and coins, they're a cup and handle.
Hmm.
But the end result is what? For June into July, what's the end result? The same.
Yeah.
You still get a vertical price move. So it's going to be something triggers some event, some news, something incredible is brewing.
Is it?
In our world.
All right.
And it's going to have to be something that's going to affect the monetary system.
Okay.
Because
Which most things do. I mean, most people
Right.
just freak out for the dumbest reasons. And,
Yeah.
yeah. So even
But-
the volcano caused, I'm sure.
Yes, but off of this move, you're going to have a loss of control too, because when you have extreme money piling into something, the question is, why is that happening?
Yeah.
You know, because everything that's happened, say, February, March, April, May, June, none of all the worldly news was powerful enough to cause the cryptocurrencies to go vertical.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like all the news that's transpired, volcanoes in Hawaii, basically all the news, they've still been able to, there's still been control.
Yeah.
Because when you have the currency, when you have Bitcoin, gold, silver, the cryptocurrencies go vertical and they temporarily lose control, what was the news that caused that? So it'll be interesting to to pay attention real close here over the next next few months.
Keep your eye on Trump, right?
Well, I think Trump is going. People will be surprised that he's going to be a part of the equation.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll see how it plays out.
Far out.
Yeah.
Good talk.
Yeah. Exciting times ahead, and I look forward to this year.
All right, well, let's do it again. Let's, we'll come back and we'll recap where we were, and we'll watch the pattern. We'll put it down and see how close we were.
My pleasure.
Cool.
That's all good.
All right, man.
Dean, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, bro.
Okay.